announcement of the multi-billion-dollar Micron chip plant coming to Clay is the talk of the town. And it's also being talked about at Great Northern Mall. CBS 5's Allure Lagarde is in the studio with new information tonight.
Michael Hart is the new owner of Great Northern Mall. He's heard all about the new plant, and he's told me he's excited. And that's one of the many new changes that's making Clay better. Great Northern Mall has suffered tremendous loss after complaints of poor management in the past. Now the mall has a new owner, Hart, who plans to revitalize the once deserted mall.
We took the risk of starting the effort with what can be done to this mall, how it can be transformed, mostly demolished and rebuilt.
When Hart purchased the mall in August, he announced plans to convert it into a lifestyle center with luxury housing, retail stores, and restaurants. A plan some criticize as over the top. But with the development of Route 31, which includes revitalizing Great Northern, the Lakeshore Yacht and Country Club, and the new Micron building in Clay, he's assured that his ideas were right on mark with the times.
It's because of this Micron project. It's because of the transformation to central New York that is now going to occur over the next decade and generation.
On Tuesday, state and local officials announced the plans to construct a multi-billion-dollar microchip plant right in Clay that will bring in 9,000 on-site jobs. Hart says that means not only will more people be coming by the mall to shop, but more people will need housing that he says his plan will provide to people with different incomes.
We want to make this a better community. We want to help make this a better community, and that's what's going to happen.
I spoke to Gary Gregory on Tuesday, the co-owner of CNY Gym Center at the Great Northern Mall. He says this new addition to the Clay community is great, especially if that means it can help his business.
Route 31 between Great Northern Mall and Cicero is kind of prime for development.
Hart says the CNY community is already great, but to make it better, more projects that can expand the community are needed.
There is no doubt that the quality of life, the living standard, is going to improve here.
Hart believes what will happen next is other companies will move to Central New York to follow Micron's example. He says what he wants to see from all of this is a legacy of an improved metropolitan area.
Maggie DeRoses joins us in studio to talk about the technology Micron creates and how it's used in our everyday life. Plus, Connor White is in the field with new information on the water system required to really make Micron's future computer chip work. Well, Maggie DeRoses joins us here in the studio tonight to begin our team coverage. Maggie.
Well, now that a semiconductor chips plant is set to put down roots in our community, I spoke with a microchip expert to find out what exactly microchips do.
Chips play a big role in our daily lives. Not potato chips, but microchips.
It just runs all the electronics in our life.
Although most of the community doesn't know the specifics of what a microchip does, they know that they're in our phones, tablets, cars, and more.
Those little structures do is they remember things, so it's building a memory device.
This is where data lives in these kind of chips. And everything today is about data and drawing insights from data.
But how many microchips does the average person have in their home? Some Central New Yorkers estimate the number is probably much higher than they even realize.
My car, my computer, my phone, I'm saying probably, 3 or 4 for sure, and probably in other things I don't know, so maybe it doesn't.
Microchips are in everything: cars, computers, cell phones, everything, tablets.
The number is certainly higher, hiding in things you may not expect. They are in digital thermometers, light bulbs, toasters, microwaves, washing machines, and so much more.
I can assure you in my house, I have thousands and possibly tens of thousands of microchips in all the little gizmos I've got.
The technology has become a major contributor in our daily lives.
All the things that we built our life around would stop to work. I'm old enough I can read paper maps. I'd hate to have to go to that.
Chris Ober with Cornell tells me that as a society, we have really gone all in on this new digital world, and the products that Micron plant will produce are at the center of it.
Matt, we're going to put some numbers in perspective. The plant, which is going to occupy the space right behind me, is going to need about 20 million gallons per day. Right now, the city of Syracuse, all the people that live there and the businesses use about 40 gallons. So if we pretend we have 20 million gallons each here, this is the city of Syracuse. That's what Micron's going to need on its own, all taking water from Lake Ontario about 25 miles up the road. Deep below the surface of Lake Ontario, a massive intake pipe sucks in water, brought in through these pumps and sent on its way to about 175,000 people throughout CNY.
Availability of water.
That system is part of what convinced Micron CEO to come to Clay. Micron will need 20 million gallons of water a day used to cool down and clean equipment.
It is a massive component of how chips are made.
Onondaga County Water Authority Executive Director Jeff Brown says his agency has been in talks with Micron for months, preparing for a major uptick in their production.
We're talking about more than half of what we currently produce is going to be required by this plant.
He says they already have the capacity to get it done. These pumps are each capable of producing 26 million gallons of water a day on their own, meaning they have more than enough wiggle room.
There is going to be future growth caused by this, and we have the capacity to meet that demand.
Plus, Aqua is only providing about half the water Micron will need. The water coming in from Lake Ontario will go through the plant and end up in a county sewage facility. Then the water will be treated and sent back to Micron. The county has approved $200 million to expand a sewage facility in Clay to handle the water when it's no longer usable. For Aqua's part, they anticipate adding a few additional pumps and lines, but beyond that, feel prepared.
When I heard the news, I was just ecstatic for the community, ecstatic for us here at Aqua, because it's going to be a good opportunity for our employees to show what we can do to provide high quality water to that site.
Micron is going to be purchasing the water from that agency and the county. Those rates haven't been worked out just yet, but Aqua says that there should be no disruption to the people who currently use their millions of gallons a day.